Hello, my name is Virgil Dismeyer. I am a SCORE Minneapolis member, and I will be your presenter today. This is another webinar in the Do-It-Yourself website development series of 4 modules. After taking the first Build Your Own Site webinar, your website should now be up and published. You also should have considered hiring a pro, which was our second webinar in this series. Since you are viewing this webinar, we assume that you have decided to improve your website yourself. This presentation is dedicated to helping you understand the upgrades and enhancements that are available to you. Taking this webinar should have been preceded by the self-learning list posted on our SCORE Minnesota website. It may be helpful to review the first webinar again in this series entitled Build Your Own Website. We will be building on this prior knowledge. eBusiness Now has several how-to guides pertaining to using technology to increase your sales. We commend this site to you for use. So what will you learn? This is our agenda for this webinar. This presentation may be the most technical of the 4 modules in our learning series. We will try to keep it simple. Listen with this caveat. Build Your Own Website was based upon a partnership of Google and Intuit. It was called Minnesota, GetOnline.com. That joint promotion was based upon using Intuit's Site Builder template software. Hence, this upgrade discussion will follow what is available from using that software. But be aware that similar options exist with other template providers you may have elected to use. With a new website, you may be bombarded with offers, and more. Go slow. Each web upgrade may involve additional cost. You may need some of them, others you will not need. There are some ways to upgrade using third-party external plugins and other resources, and we will introduce you to some of these. Review your provider's help section or talk to your service representative to assist you in making these decisions. Okay, I think we are ready to proceed. Oh, by the way, all of your phones are muted, so if you have a question as we proceed, type it in to the online chat window so that we can address them at the end of this session. Once you publish your website onto the web, expect various offers from vendors to help you get more customers and improve your website. Be wary of accepting these offers until you know what you really need. Most of the offers will represent the 3 areas shown on this slide: search engine optimization, online advertising, and upgrades from your own vendor. Many of the solicitations will have a compelling story for you to use them. This situation is similar to when you buy a new house, and then you will get a variety of offers by direct mail. Give your new website some time for it to gain traffic before committing to upgrades. Then assess whether it is meeting your objectives. Do you want to continue to enhance your website yourself, or do you want to hire a pro to help? As you will see in this webinar, proceeding gets more technical, so consider your time and skill level before going forward. Intuit and other template providers offer a wide variety of levels of service. Keep your budget in mind because most of these changes will come with associated cost. This presentation, as we mentioned, is based upon Site Builder from Intuit, offered on the Minnesota Get Online promotion in conjunction with Google. We cite this vendor as an example only, since we cannot go into all of the other options available. SCORE does not endorse any specific vendors and uses Site Builder for illustration purposes only. While we are using Site Builder, this slide is a reminder that there are many other template providers to choose from, and they will offer similar options to upgrade. So let's start. Do your homework before making upgrade decisions. Understand what you have now. The Minnesota Get Online promotion offers you a free 1-year subscription for a 3-page website. Most of your investment up to this point is your own time. You can check the details for your account while you are in the website editor for the template. For Intuit, this is located on a blue band in the upper right corner. Also, click the link on the left of the screen called Add-on Services. This is the sequence we will follow. You may find it helpful to develop a spreadsheet to visualize all of the options and the individual cost as we go forward. This slide reiterates the step-up process you will take as you evolve. Most vendors offer 3 levels of service. You can add options to the base cost of each service level, so be aware you will have options at each service level. Later, we will show you the crossover cost point between the basic and standard service levels. We will not go into the premium service level, since that is mainly an expansion of pages, email addresses, and so forth. You may decide to use a professional to help you improve what you have, so the second module is still valid. Here are 3 of the most common add-on services. 3 pages may be restricting you or causing your viewer to scroll a long page of products or services. Extra pages will let you group similar products or services and present them better. Additional pages will also give you more page titles, more page descriptions, and more content to stress keywords for search engine optimization. Storage can become an early issue if you have large files or many images stored on your website. For example, our ScoreDemo.com website uses 13 megabytes of storage of the 25 megabyte limit available to you, and we do not have a lot of images or files stored on our site. You can add one email address with your domain name. This adds professionalism to your marketing materials such as business cards and literature. The next question is, do you want to add Traffic Builder? Traffic Builder is an automated search engine optimization tool. It is a service that analyzes and tracks keywords your prospects use to find your website. As it accumulates this artificial intelligence from searches, it adds them to a footer on your site. This footer is search engine friendly, and we will show it to you on the next slide. Remember, it takes Traffic Booster some time to show results. This is most likely a good investment for most websites. The next question, do you want the template provider to add your site to web listings? Many template providers will offer to list your website with other directories, review sites, and shopping sites on the internet. You can do this yourself, but you have to know what directories exist and if their focus fits your target audience. This listing from Intuit includes Google, Yahoo, Bing, Yellow Pages, Amazon, and 100 plus other listings. These listings are automatically updated to use data that you provide in a business profile. Many internet users go to directories or portals for new ideas if their searches do not produce the results they are seeking. Viewers can look for directories by city, industry, product, or service, and more. The advantage of using this upgrade is that these listings are updated regularly for your website based upon your business profile, which you can change as it evolves. Here we add to local directories. This is not a question, it is almost a must. Listing on Yahoo and Google Places or Google Maps and other local directories is free. Be sure to submit your website, especially if you have a storefront or a location in a community. The more places your company website is listed, the odds of being found increase proportionately. Try a search on Google Maps for your city and use a specific topic, like flower shops, to test the results. You will be convinced that this is a must for your website. We are at a major decision point. As I mentioned earlier, this is the crossover between basic and standard level of service. You have added services to your basic website, but is it adequate? Check the next service level from your provider. Here, only $8 separates the upgraded basic service level from the next standard level of service. And here's what we have added: 10 pages, storage, an email account, Traffic Booster, and web listings. For those $8, you get 90 more pages, 4 gigabytes more storage, and 4 more email addresses. On the surface, this looks like a pretty good offer, and if I had this website, I certainly would upgrade to the standard level of service. From this point on in our presentation, we will assume that you stepped up to the standard level of service, since you have exhausted the add-ons to the basic service. Of course, the cost will start adding again as you add new options to the standard level of service. So this $40 is not fixed. You may ask, if you upgrade to another level of service, what happens to the website editor that you learned to use up to this point? There are no new editing tools offered for the new levels of service. Website hosting remains the same. Your domain name remains the same. Template providers make the migration transparent. The website editor that you learn to use in Build Your Own Website for the basic level of service still applies, and this is a window that you have gotten familiar with using. Your account will change, but your website stays the same until you physically change it. What changes is the rate you pay per month. Remember, the basic rate as you step up is about $40 per month. Now we're going to talk about some fee-based options which apply to all service levels. The listing among the add-on services, you will find unique services that are offered on a fee basis. These are common amongst the template providers that we checked. These are areas where you can use the skill of your template provider's staff to supplement your own time and talent. Now, a word on each of these. The search I have illustrated on the screen for SCORE Minneapolis displayed both Minneapolis and Minnesota resources. If prospects are not finding your website, then you need to take action. This can be done by using a professional or paid assistance from your website template provider. Of course, you can also make some changes on your own, as we will discuss in detail in our last do-it-yourself webinar called Find Your Website. Other search engine optimization vendors will also solicit you once your website is published. But these are the questions. You want to definitely stand out from the pack. Are you using the right keywords? Is your content relevant to your clients and your company? And incoming links from other sites are very important in the placement on a search display. The next fee-based option is to make your site look great. This is paying a professional to enhance what you have already done. If you request a quote, get some competitive bids from local developers with whom you can converse directly. Doing it yourself may be hardest for many people because it does require an eye for color, layout, and image. You can also go back into your website editor and select a new design to see if it better reflects your image for your company. So the design you chose back in step 1, you are not forced to live with for life. It is an easy transition to change the design, the colors and the layout and so forth. Remember, however, looking great is in the eyes of your prospects. Match your look with their expectations. Pay-per-click marketing is the third fee option to get more customers to purchase from you. Look at a Google search results page. The sponsored results on the top, which is the yellow area, and the listings on the right are paid advertisements. You bid for placement on this list. Learn and understand pay-per-click by going to wikipedia.org or answers.com. Try a search for flowers again to see what appears on your screen. You, the advertiser, pay a fee each time your ad is clicked on and leads a viewer to your website. There are no guarantees that the browser found what the viewer was looking for on your website, and there's no guarantee that the click will result in a sale. There are several vendors that offer pay-per-click advertising, and I have shown four of them on the screen. Google AdWords, Intuit's own Searchlight, Yahoo Smart Ads, and One-on-One Search Marketing. So again, you have a number of options other than the vendor that you selected for the template. If you sell products online, you will have to accept credit card and possibly PayPal payments. E-commerce is the biggest difference between a basic and a standard level of service from a template provider. E-commerce from Intuit as your provider is composed of several parts, and they're listed right here, these 5 parts. And we will discuss them in the following slides. Most e-commerce is paid for with a credit or a debit card. PayPal is an option that allows a buyer to list their credit card details with one vendor to provide better security for personal information. You will also need a merchant account to process the credit payments as a supplement to your banking arrangements. Pay by phone is an option if you have very few sales or the amount of each sale is significant. When you take payments by phone, remember you will have to manually acquire the payment information from your customer. Sales reports are automatically provided with e-commerce options. Payments via mobile devices is still emerging, but growing rapidly. Smartphones and other mobile devices have scanning capability and attachments to read the magnetic stripe on credit or debit cards. This type of option is good for many applications, such as flea markets, conventions, or anywhere traditional card readers may be cumbersome. Before you sign up for this option, you should do some internet research because the field is expanding rapidly with new devices and vendors. Most of these options support only Apple or Android operating systems, but some, like GoPayment, have BlackBerry support. These are the vendors you will see featured for mobile credit card payments: Square, Google Wallet, Pay Anywhere, and NFC, which stands for Near Field Communications. The systems differ in how the payments are directed to your banking account, the ability to accept signatures, and so forth. So do your research before signing up for this option. Simple Store is an option in Intuit's Site Builder. This option is good for most small businesses who sell a few products or services online. Payments in this option are made from your website versus the mobile systems discussed previously. It does not have the sophistication of the storefront, which will be discussed next, for inventory management and so forth. In most online e-commerce activities, logistics to deliver the product can become a major factor. There are fulfillment centers that can assume these logistical details for you, but that is normally a relationship separate from the website provider's range of service. Listed here are two other basic store vendors, one-on-one e-shops, small business at Yahoo. Now we come to the major e-commerce option in Intuit. This service is ideal for online stores with many products, many sizes, different colors, and other product attributes. There are very few SCORE clients who start with a free service, such as Google's, who will need this sort of upgrade. When you get to this level, you might want to reconsider using a professional service to help you versus doing it yourself. There are all kinds of nuances, like coupons, returns with credit back, and others that make this complex. Now, in this option, Intuit has two levels of service. The simpler plan has unlimited products, multiple payment options, handles downloadable files for software sales, and basic inventory. They have a second level for this option, which includes all the things I've mentioned before, but it integrates your sales with your back-end systems, a very robust inventory system, and it supports complex products that may be serviced by salespersons in the field, and it is customizable. When your company accepts debit or credit cards, you will need a merchant account to facilitate deposits to your bank account. Obviously, security is a key element for online payment acceptance. This is true for online or traditional sales. You may want to talk to your local banker before making this decision. Most banks offer merchant accounts connected to your regular checking account. Extended needs. I've covered a lot of options up to this point, but your website template provider may not offer all the features you require. This does not mean you can't enhance your website. A link to a third-party widget or plugin can add supplemental features. A calendar is a classic example. There are many types of calendars, including calendars for workers to check their next assignment or event calendars for an organization. A link to a plugin or widget gives you much flexibility. If you do a Google search for web plugins or web widgets, you will see a host of options. Some of them may appeal to you and are as follows: message forums, mailing list, photo galleries, newsletters, and quizzes. I have shown on the slide an online chat right here as a linked option. Live chat is great if you are selling a technical product or service and have a customer service representative available. The Site Builder template uses live chat to support you, the customer. You can accumulate your own frequently asked questions and post them as a document on your website, or use a third-party vendor for frequently asked questions. One that is a favorite of many is the Community Exchange, right here, which is similar to an interactive blog. The Intuit community is an absolute must for you to use as you get into the more technical issues with your website. But this is an illustration of how you can go beyond your template provider to make your website even better. The provider we have been illustrating does not offer some of the options shown here on the left. Other vendors offer one or more of these. This is why you need to think through your strategy before initiating a website project, as emphasized in the Build Your Own Website webinar. Whether you do it yourself or use a professional on your website, it must be driven by and reflect your prospects and your company. Planning ahead is an old adage that certainly holds true for website evolution. Well, questions. Like the other webinars, we can't anticipate all of your questions, but always use the vendor help or telephone support to get technical answers that apply to the provider. For Intuit, their community is a great and open discussion of issues. Plus, they have live chat. If you have general questions, find your Minnesota chapter and ask one of their counselors for their local support. Our SCORE counselors are not experienced web designers, but they can help you refine a question, or they may know of other resources in the community that could help you. On the national level, use score.org to find a chapter in your local community and set up a relationship there. Finally, we have a dedicated special email to help you with your needs. We will attempt to answer your questions or refer you to a resource which other viewers may have suggested. We will answer only via email or Skype. No telephone contact is provided. Your questions will become our frequently asked question list, which will be posted on our local chapters' websites. We are just about ready to wrap up this webinar, and we'll check and see if anybody has typed in a chat question that I'll take now. As I look at the chat inquiries, I see 3 of them that you have posted, and I'll take them in order. The first question you have submitted for our viewers and listeners is this: can I move the code and my site to another host or platform? That's a very good question. You would want to do this if the Intuit Site Builder could not meet your future needs. I do not know the answer to this question. We will research it and answer it in our frequently asked questions. I'm sorry I can't answer it, but this is an excellent question. Let's see, the second question: what happens to free 1-year service if you start upgrading? Well, if you add anything to your basic website that is free for 1 year, like more pages, then free becomes a fee-based service, and it will cost you $6.99 per month, plus the cost of any add-ons that you have elected to use. So you abort free when you start enhancing the basic system. The third question here: can I use both Site Builder and Google Analytics to view the activity on my site? Yes, you sure can. You can use both. Intuit's analytical statistics is quite complete. Google offers more keyword help than does Intuit's, so you may well want to use both. Now, here's a fourth one that was just typed in. You did not mention a blog. Is that available? Yes, in the standard version of Site Builder, it is one of the website editor choices available to you. So looking at the clock, I think we should end. And since there are no more questions, we will go to the final 2 slides. We have some standard disclaimers for you. All content of this webinar is strictly for training and comparison purposes of our clients. SCORE does not endorse any specific vendors. All vendors discussed in this presentation are for example only. The screenshots provided in this presentation are also for illustrative purposes. Other service providers' screenshots will be slightly different because their services are all slightly different. Before we end, we want to recognize these contributors to our webinar. Site Builder is the website template provider upon which this webinar was based. It is offered by Intuit as shown on the screen. Veritas Marketing and Spedco have been valuable partners in this learning series. We hope that we have provided you enough information to make intelligent decisions. The last webinar in this series is Do It Yourself, Find Your Website, where we discuss simple search engine optimization. Take a look at it. That's it for now. Goodbye and good luck.
Thank you. Please stand by.